5 reasons why you need to buy a JZX100 in 2023 and 2024.
Stop it. We're not saying that on camera.
I know what you're thinking. Hey Mike, aren't JZX100 for YouTubers and drift boys and just kids who want to party? My answer to you is no. JZX100s are for everyone. In fact, this car is one of the best cars I've ever owned in my life. I also have to say that this video is about JZX100s, not GX100s, not Avants, not Grands. This video will be about the Tourer V trim level of Chasers, Mark IIs, and Crestas. Now you might say to yourself, well, I have a JZX90 Tourer V. Isn't that the same thing? Kind of. This is really just going to be about JZX100s and the Tourer V models only. And since I'm talking about Tourer V so much, the number one reason why you should buy a JZX100 is the engine. Let's pop the hood. This is by far the most fun engine I've had in any of my cars. It makes all the right turbo noises, it's got a ton of power, it's super linear, VVTi makes it super fun, it almost feels a little bit like VTEC, it gets pretty good gas mileage, and for a car that's over 26 years old, this thing boogies. In the past, people may have been afraid of buying a 1JZ powered car because there wasn't much part support, but there are so many parts for the 1JZ, even complete with internals, down to oil caps, down to intercooler piping. The 1JZ not only makes a ton of power, is super fun to drive, makes all the right noises, but there's a lot of product support for it in the US. And because it's so fun, it really translates to this car being such a great car to drive. Totally sweat boy today. God, it's 88 degrees in Washington. What is happening? Anyway, the number 2 reason is that it's a super fast sedan. I'm telling you to buy a sedan. That's because in Japan, they use these as touring cars. Plus, it being a sedan makes it super practical for you to own. A lot of cars that you import from Japan, you're scratching an itch that like, it's just a fun car. Oh, it's just my weekend car. But a JZX100, you can make as a family car. In fact, my buddy Jeff Stoneback not only hauls his kid to school in his JZX100, it's a Mark II, but he's the style king of the drop-off lane. That thing is sick. With this thing being a sedan, not only does it make it a little bit of a rare bird in terms of Japanese exports, it makes it super practical for you to own. In fact, let's take a look inside the car. Not only does it have 4 doors, but these 4 doors have a ton of space. We have the G Corporation floor mats in ours, but if you were to sit back there, you got plenty of room. Plus, you can totally throw a car seat in there. There's hookups for a car seat. It's just a really, really cool sedan. Also, if you're gonna take this thing and this is gonna be your drift car, you could totally throw spare tires and wheels in the back seat, haul it to the track, haul it back from the track. You're good to go with the sedan. Speaking of drifting, there are a ton of parts for JZX100s. Not only are there parts available in Japan, but there are parts available in the US. You can get parts from Drift HQ and Juku Racing. You can also import parts from Yahoo Auctions Japan, RHD Japan, Nengun.com. It allows you to customize your JZX100 to however you want it. We went with a more of a cruiser Grand Tour look on ours. Put in Recaro SR6s. No, we didn't do the Recaro confettis like all the other YouTubers do. We wanted to be a little bit different. We also did G Corp yellow floor mats. We did a yellow BC Racing steering wheel. Shout outs to BC Racing for not only giving us the steering wheel, but also hooking us up on the suspension. And we got an auto. But yet, there are a ton of parts available for it. You can style your JZX100 however you want with your imagination. Another huge point why you need to buy a JZX100 as soon as possible is that all the YouTubers in the world are buying them and destroying them. really fun fact. There were 24,000 JZX100 chasers made in the lifespan of the chaser, per Wikipedia, and there were 43,000 R32 GTRs made. Arguably, that makes a JZX100 chaser rarer than an R32 GTR. Now, I know GTRs came in tons of trim levels and tons of options, they made it for tons of years, but there are less of these made than an R32. Now, I know what you're thinking, well, how many Mark IIs were there made? How many Crestas were there made? Sure, I'm sure those are limited runs too, but you could still make the point that this thing is rarer than an R32 GTR. These cars are gonna start dropping like flies, and the value of these things are gonna go through the roof. In the US right now, a clean JZX100 Tourer V Chaser fetches anywhere between 20 and 30 grand. I know you might say, well, I got a cousin in Saitama who can export them for 8 grand, 9 grand. Hey, listen, I don't care about that shit. I care about the market price in the US right now. These are right in the 20 to 30K mark. That's a really good sign in this market. Not only is money harder to borrow than it ever has been, but for these things to hold their value in this economy is crazy. You can expect these things to go up in value, so you better get one now. Finally, the number 5 reason is they are fantastic cars. Honestly, this is one of the best handling, best feeling, best driving car I've ever driven, especially if you're going to compare it against worldwide sedans. I've driven E39 M5s, I've driven B5 Audi S4s. Yes, it's a pile of junk, but when it runs, it's fun. This is funner than both of them. This is honestly one of the most fun cars I've ever owned in my life. The torque is great, the response is great, the steering is great. You can make it handle really well, you can make it drift really well, you can do whatever you want with these cars. For this car being so good as it is, and for it being so rare, the value of these things are only going to go up, so get one as soon as you can. That's it for my reasons of why you should buy a JZX100 Tourer V in 2023, 2024. If you agree or disagree with any of those things, make sure you drop a comment and let me know. Also, if you're in the mood to support the channel, we got Cool Guy Club merch available. NoGoobersAreAllowed.com. You can get a Shitbox Snobs dad hat, OG Snob shirt, plus much more, and stickers too. Other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one, and hopefully I'll see you in a JZX100 of your own.